After experiencing all the stories of Kamen Riders, Qin En unexpectedly arrived at the Star Dome world. I thought I could start a new, daily life. But I never thought that the exposure system of my past life would come to the world of Timiha. Zhenfa Xie, General Duanmu. I can't win at all. I don't understand, Shining Digga. You insulted the history of knights, the king of demons. The representative of the five elements and the heavenly way, Emperor Xiao. Kiana. If Qin En were to become the protagonist in our world, 3 episodes would shatter the cocoon of the end. Luiying. Promise me, Qin En, don't go to battle with Katanji. Kevin. Representative of the heavenly way, Emperor Xia, Qin En. If I could also be so powerful. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001, Revealing the Secrets of Previous Lives, selected Qin En. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luofu Immortal Boat. Inside an open-air tavern. Gui Naifan is holding up her phone to live stream. Family members, in 10 minutes, it will be the latest round of the unveiling ceremony for the great revelation of the past life. Someone's identity in their past life is about to be revealed. Are you curious about who the past life of those around you would be, or who your past life would be? Then let's watch together with Xiao Gizi's live broadcast room. Brush up the flowers and gifts, family. Gui Naifan excitedly pointed to a huge light curtain that appeared across the sky. On the tea table, Su Shang said strangely, everyone in the immortal boat can see this light curtain. It seems like you don't need to come to your live broadcast room, Xiaoguizi. Gui Naifan. Of course I know, but at times like this thing is the biggest hotspot. Since this thing appeared for no reason 6 months ago. The discussion about it remains high. And it was Qin En who taught me about catching hot topics. Right, Qin En. In the middle of the two, a young man with a delicate face and dressed in elegant ancient attire is sipping his fragrant tea. See Gui Naifan cut herself. Qin En nodded and replied, yes, yes. While answering Gui Naifan, Qin En did not forget to look up at the light curtain in the sky. It's really strange. I didn't expect to travel back to the celestial universe. I can still encounter such things. This is clearly not the handwriting of that star god. I'm a bit worried that one day, the revelation of my past life will come to me. Yes, Qin En is a traveler. And this is not his first time traveling. But it's a second time crossing. Before this time traveling, Qin En relied on the system to gather and travel through different tokusatsu stories. Leaving behind many stories that belong to oneself. Even the strongest imperial armor. I am also the strongest summoner. After finally clearing the darkness of the entire universe. The system gave Qin En a second crossing while retaining all his power. This second time crossing arrived at the Star Dome Universe Luofu Immortal Boat. Becoming an evergreen species. The life of Qin En over the past 100 years still made him very comfortable. Without the responsibility of fighting, killing, and saving the world. Only by drinking tea and basking in the sun every day, can we listen to storytellers telling stories. I also met 2 companions, Su Shang and Gui Naifan. Even Tai Bu Si Fu Xian and Qin Ke are his friends. Bai Lu from Dandingsi can also go to Rua if she has something to do. Ting Yun, who has fox ears, can occasionally pinch the cute fox ears. Just as Qin En's lying flat life was in full swing. The strange light curtain of revealing past life secrets descended on the Luofu Immortal Boat. Not only that. According to the information transmitted by the Intelligence Department of Xianzhou. It seems that this magical light curtain is not only possessed by immortal boats. There are several other major powers involved. It can be said that it is almost ubiquitous in the celestial universe. The current situation is. Whoever boarded the immortal boat, whose past life was impressive. Or rather, whose past life was unlucky enough. That's absolutely 100% famous. For Gui Naifen who wants popularity. She looks forward to the stars and the moon, waiting to see herself up. He is good or bad? Gui Naifen said with hopeful eyes, when can I go up? Even if we don't allow Su Shang to go up, it's okay. And Qin En. Qin En's face turned black and he said, why are you still pulling me? Gui Naifen said reasonably, you two are both from my live broadcast room. You're on fire and I'm on fire. That's all the same reason. Right, Su Shang. Li Da's pillow was suddenly swayed and limped by Gui Naifen, and she nodded naturally, Xiao Gizi's words make a lot of sense. Qin En was too lazy to say anything. He and Su Shang are indeed regular guests. After all, Su Shang often breaks large stones on her chest, she is the one with the chest. As a result, he ran towards Bai Lu. And Qin En is idle and helps them beat drums and hammers. That's why. I became familiar with Bai Lu after a few visits. Over time, you will be able to make progress. Just as Qin En watched Gui Naifen and Su Shang imagine the live broadcast room that would become popular. A crisp sound was emitted from the sky. Ding! It immediately caught the attention of everyone on the immortal boat. The sound is heard. Let everyone understand. A new round of past life revelations is about to begin. Qin En's gaze also followed and looked up at the sky. On the originally white light curtain in the sky. Suddenly, lines of large characters appeared. Every font is dancing with dragons and phoenixes. Very artistic. After Qin En saw these big characters, my face gradually turned ugly. Damn it. In stark contrast to it, it was the excited expressions of Gui Naifen and Su Shang. Gui Naifen. Great, my dream has come true. Revealing the secrets of the past life, start random task extraction. The scope of this extraction is Luofu Immortal Boat. This light screen will reveal the past life stories of the extracted individuals and play them in the form of videos. The person selected this time is Xianzhou Zimin, Qin En. Originally, following the normal process, it basically ended here and entered the main topic. However, a prompt message appeared again on the light screen. Attention, light curtain upgrade. Starting from this moment, Light Curtain will broadcast the collapse of China Unicom in 3 worlds together, watching the past lives of the people being revealed. Bullet screen chat enabled, all viewers can participate in the chat. 002, number of terrifying entries, Armored Warrior Qin En. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another world. Is it because Qin En is too special, or because the light screen is really upgrading? As the divine boat Tai Bu Si, Fu Xian. It is not strange for the existence of other worlds. Just a little curious. Why did this light curtain upgrade inexplicably when we arrived at Qin En's place? After completing the task, it also connected another world. Master Fu Xian is just too nervous, said Qin Ke, who was studying the jade plaque in her hand. It's been 6 months now, there's nothing strange about upgrading. Fu Xian gave Qin Ke a faint glance and said, Qin Ke, do you still have a lot of work to complete? Qin Ke gave a fierce beating to the hand holding the card. Immediately changed his face and said, Lord Fu Xian is absolutely right. Qin En, this kid, although he doesn't show off his skills and doesn't leak water on weekdays. But you can still see that there seems to be a huge power hidden within this kid's body. Fu Xian said, there are very few times when the eyes of this Dharma cannot see clearly, and when facing Qin En, it is one of them. If it weren't for this kid, I would have been born and raised in Luofu Immortal Boat. I will immediately arrest him and interrogate him. Qin Ke followed Fu Xian's answer and said yes. Master Fu Xian, now I can understand who this guy's past life was. Aren't you curious? Fu Xian snorted coldly, what's so curious about such a small matter? No matter how beautiful or frustrated one's past life may be. He is Qin En in this world. Qin Ke continued, what if Qin En's past life was a supervillain who did nothing wrong? Fu Xian said, Qin Ke, do you think Qin En is that kind of person in your eyes? At the same time, due to the activation of bullet chat function, many people were eager to try and brush on the barrage. Really, you can send barrage now. This is exactly the same as watching the live broadcast. Goddess, have you seen me? I'm here at the same time. Barrage from another world also appeared. Collapse 3 Kiana. Yay, look at me, you can really send barrage. Collapse 3 Deliza. I didn't expect the functions of this fast light screen to really become more diverse. Collapse 3 Otto. Thanks to that one named Qin En. Collapse 3. Is it not a regular upgrade for light curtain? Collapse 3 Pre-civilization era Alicia. Hi everyone. Collapse 3 Blonia. Pre-civilization era. Collapse 3 May. It seems that not only did it connect two worlds, but it also connected two time periods. Collapse 3 Mebius. It's just a divine means. Star Dome March 7th. Many people. Star Dome Walter. Collapse 3 Worlds. Xingqiong Gui Naifen. Hello everyone, I am the anchor Xiaguizi. Remember to come to my live broadcast room to watch the live broadcast. Starry Sky White Dew. You can see it by looking up. Collapse the World. Pre-civilization era. May analyzed a lot of information from the barrage. Wei. Previously, I only exposed the past lives of ordinary people, but when I was feeling bored, a big one happened. Alicia. It's been almost half a year now, and finally it's fun. Everyone's past life has not yet been revealed, they are really curious. Sue's eyes opened rare, perhaps this will be a brand new opportunity for us. Kevin spoke slowly and said, I hope so. The present era of civilization. Otto sat in the position of the Archbishop. Elegantly holding the red wine and crossing his legs, he said, it's fun, it's really fun. Beside her are the strongest S-level female warrior goddess of fate, Yolandale, and Deputy Captain Rita. Yolandale. The bishop is really overly interested in this kind of thing. Rita. Yes. Otto. I never believed in reincarnation in past and present life before. But the appearance of this light curtain shattered my thoughts. Now another world has emerged. Otto raised the corner of his mouth. For over 500 years. Never before has it been so interesting. St. Freya Academy. Kiana said excitedly, it seems like this light curtain is getting bigger and bigger as you play. If Yai's past life is exposed, it will definitely shock two worlds. And what about that pre-civilization era? What's going on? Blonia. At first glance, stupid Kiana just didn't listen in class. Teresa clenched her fist and said, Kiana. I've talked about it many times during class, it's a civilization that existed before the existing human civilization. You listen to my class well, you bastard. Kiana. I was wrong, Auntie. I was wrong. Just as Teresa's fist was about to fall, Kiana came up with a quick idea and said, Auntie, look. The revelation of the past life has begun, it's the immortal boatman named Qin En. Blonia was stunned and said, it's the first time I've seen such a long introduction to a famous scene. Yai. There weren't many people with famous scenes before. Fu Hua. How do I feel like this scene is like a big villain? Jeezy. I think so too. Kiana. So, this guy must be very powerful. Teresa. I'll beat you up when this is over. The attention of all viewers. They were all attracted by the light curtain at this moment. They were all stunned, revealing the secrets of a past life begins. Armor Warrior World, main character of this episode. Su Yun, Duanmu, nickname. General Duanmu, Axel Killer, classic scenes. Isa, Jingdao Fa Xia, Duanmu kill crazy, interrupting spell, wife killing testimony, 3.1.0.9. 003, is Qin En a villain? The Axel Killer Machine makes its debut. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's broken. Qin K saw the introductions on the light screen. Recalling the words I joked with Fu Xian just now. Can Qin En be a great villain in his past life? Now the entries on the light screen. It seems like it has already been hammered. Now it won't become a prophecy, will it? Qin K looked nervously at the light curtain. Fu Xian beside him also looked at Qin K with some anger and said, Qin K, how can you be so good but not so good? Qin K. I didn't expect it either, Lord Fushuan. And it may not necessarily be a bad person, right? Fu Xian asked in reverse, look at those entries above. Do you believe these words yourself? Qin K. I really can't believe it. After all, those entries can be said to be more extreme than one. What kind of evidence to kill a wife, to the point of becoming evil, to the point of killing someone crazy? These words. Obviously, it is not used to describe a righteous person. Fu Xian could only sigh helplessly about this. It doesn't matter, since it's a past life, it doesn't have much to do with Qin En now. As long as he is a good guy nowadays. Qin K looked at Fu Xian in surprise and said, Master Fu Xian, this is the first time I have heard you praise Lin En. Fu Xian immediately coughed twice and said, it's just a metaphor. The meaning is that this guy is not a bad person. If it were a bad person, the Cloud Cavalry Army would have caught him long ago. Qin K nodded in agreement and said, that's true. Otherwise, she wouldn't often go to help Xiaoguizi and Sushang live stream. Fu Xian. Are you sure he's not just for fun? Qin K said awkwardly, I think maybe it is. He. Within the Danding Company. Bailu looked at the light curtain in the sky alone. Angry, he clenched his little fist and said, I knew this guy who likes to touch my corner when he's okay. Not a good person. Now it's finally a real blow. Next time, if you dare to touch my corner casually, miss, I will strangle him with one tail. In fact, Bailu has not failed to resist. But every time Qin En precisely avoided it. I'm very angry. Later on, they could only rely on Qin En Roya's small role and were powerless. Every time Gui Naifan and Su Shang come to seek their own treatment. She always has to worry about whether Qin En is around or not. But if this kind of past life exposure. Is Qin En really not in any danger? Bailu muttered to herself with some concern. After all, judging from these entries. Qin En was no different from the great villain in his past life. If this arouses some sense of justice among the Xianzhou people. Will you take action against him? It's okay. If he gets hurt by someone else, he deserves it. Miss, I treat him unconditionally. Bailu waved her big hand. The little face has returned to a carefree appearance. Continue to look at the light curtain in the sky. On the other side. Inside the Xianzhou tea house. Sushang and Gui Naifan saw those entries on the screen of light. People are all foolish. This is the first time they have seen someone with so many entries at the same time. Before Qin En. Having 2 or 3 entries is already quite surprising. As a result, he appeared on the screen of light. It just exploded with so many entries. This is not the most important thing yet. The key is the entries above. It doesn't feel like you're describing a good person. Gui Naifan looked at Qin En and said, Qin En, your past life was not a heinous villain, was it? Sushang patted her big pillow. With a sigh of relief, he said, fortunately, Qin En in this lifetime is a good person. Otherwise, they will definitely be imprisoned by the Cloud Cavalry Army. Qin En looked at the two people who were making a fuss and gave them a blank glance. Do you think there's any possibility? Perhaps in my past life. Is Axel the villain? And I am the hero who solved Oxer. It's like the immortal boat Cloud Cavalry Army fighting against the abundant and evil creatures. Su Shang immediately said, if that's the case, then the entries Qin En has obtained are not just derogatory words. Are they all reward words? Gui Naifen. That means Qin En is a good person. My live broadcast room is going to be popular. Qin En. At this moment, Gui Naifen realized and said, by the way, Qin En, how do you know that Oxer is a bad person? Do you still retain the memories of your past life? Qin En smiled and said, guess what? Li de Pillow immediately said, of course it's impossible. How could anyone possibly preserve the memories of their past lives? Oh, don't worry so much. Let's watch it quickly. The video will start soon. There was also a heated discussion on Qin En's entry on the barrage. Jing Yuan. I knew this kid was extraordinary. Yanqing. It looks like a bad person. Kiana. What if? What if Oxer is the bad guy? Qin En. I think so too. Alicia. Oh, is this Qin En mentioned in the title? Bailu. It's him, this young lady remembers that tone. Stop Cloud. Qin Gongzi, it seems that your past life is a bit complicated. Teresa. These entries are like a madman killing. Otto. He's really a bad guy who even does things like killing his wife and preaching. As the audience discusses, the entries on the screen slowly disappeared. Then a small tavern appeared in the light screen. A well-behaved girl appeared in front of Qin En with tears in her eyes. No, perhaps Qin En should be called Duanmu Yen at this time. 004, name scene. Joseph, one generation after another. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. This made a girl cry like this as soon as she came out. This past life called Qin En is really excessive. You're right, Bianca. I don't know the whole picture, I won't comment, said Yolandale as she looked at the light curtain without looking back, and I feel that Qin En has a righteous expression on his face. It doesn't seem like a villain at all. Otto reminded again, Bianca, don't forget that there is also a description in the entry that says from positive to evil. It's really hard to imagine. What kind of justice does a person need to achieve in order to use the word evil to describe? Rita. Drive away all evil without leaving any effort, there is no room for any evil sand in your eyes. I think that's the only way to deserve this title, right? Otto smiled faintly and said, Rita, it's true that you are always the calmest and the most accurate person when it comes to things. So do you also think that the term Oxley mentioned in the entry is a villain? Rita didn't nod or shake her head. But he replied, yes or no, only by continuing to read can we know. You're right, Lord Otto. And Lord Otto must have his own answer in Lord Otto's heart when he asks me this. Yolandale also roast, Bishop has always been like this. Always let others fall into your own pit. Upon hearing this, Otto couldn't help but burst into laughter. So, let's appreciate this Qin En. What kind of person is he? To be honest, I am very interested in people from this other world. On the light screen. When the two appear. I also thoughtfully attached the names of the two people on the side for the audience. The woman's name is Ma Lingling, and the man is naturally Qin En's previous life, Duanmu Yen. Nickname General Duanmu, the Axel Killer Machine. At this moment, Ma Lingling looked tearfully at Duanmu Yen sitting at the bar. Big brother risked his life to negotiate for us, he said hoarsely, don't worry if you don't agree. You're still insulting him here. Ma Lingling looked sorrowful. In addition, in the words spoken, it seems to express the changes of Duanmu Yen. He also used the word insult. The audience couldn't believe it. In the previous plot, what offensive lines did Duanmu Yen say? Only then can a girl cry and say such things. Kiana. It's bad, Qin En can't really be a villain, right? Blonia. Based on the current situation, it's possible. Fu Xian. Even if he was a bad person in his past life, he has nothing to do with him in this life. Qin En. Master Fu Xian, thank you very much for explaining it to me. Gui Naifen. That's right, no matter how bad Duanmu Yen is, it has nothing to do with Qin En. Su Shang, +1. Jing Yuan. In fact, I don't think Qin En's past life was a bad person either. It would be too hasty to judge based solely on the plot. Silver Wolf. Indeed. Bailu. I agree with General's words, but now Qin En is also. Yes. Bad. Egg. Stop Cloud. Did Lord Qin bully Bailu again? Otto. Or we should continue to watch, rather than judging the end with just 2 or 3 sentences. Teresa. Grandpa, how could you say such a thing? Rita. It seems that Lord Teresa is indeed surprised. Alicia. I don't think Qin En is a bad person either. The intuition of a beautiful girl has always been very accurate. Eden. I choose to believe in Alicia. Mabius. Humph, Alicia, you really like to smooth things out. In the Xianzhou tea house. Gui Naifen comforted and said, don't worry, Qin En. I'm standing on your side. Qin En smiled and remained silent. At the same time, I couldn't help but want to curse Guangmu in my heart. This guy, let's just talk about the real naming scene. I won't say anything about the previous ones. How did Oxer harm the earth? You didn't broadcast it. How can I start from zero, and you don't show me who killed Ox alone? Just broadcast this segment separately. Take it out of context. But now Qin En doesn't care at all. Having experienced many things, one's mentality naturally becomes much more peaceful. Continuing to gaze blankly towards the light screen. Although it's a bit troublesome to have my past life exposed. But even so, it's also a story that happened to me before. From a third-person perspective now, there is a different feeling. In the light screen image, Duanmu Yen seemed angry when Ma Lingling criticized her like this. Asking in reverse, what have I become? Ma Lingling cried and continued, you have become arrogant and arrogant. Do you feel that you are any better than Axel now? I heard Ma Lingling compare himself with Oxer. Duanmu Yen angrily threw away the towel in her hand and snorted coldly, jokes. At least I'm human, I'm not Oxley. Ma Lingling angrily roared at Duanmu Yen, you're not even as good as Oxer. Duanmu Yen looked at Ma Lingling and raised her finger, saying, what qualifications do you have to say that about me? Remember. You used to be Oxley too. One day is Axel. I'll be Oxley for the rest of my life. Blonia. Wait. So, this is the meaning of one generation of Joseph in the entry. Kiana. Although the scene was very anxious, why did I feel a bit amused when I heard this explanation? Teresa. So Duanmu Yen is standing on the side of humans, and Oxer sounds like some kind of monster. Star. So, wouldn't that prove that Qin En's past life was a good person? Fu Xian. If Oxer is a guy like a bountiful creature, I think Duanmu Yan's approach and statement are completely correct. Gui Naifen. Great Qin En, you whitened it. Qin En. Don't say it, I seem like I've been hacked before. Are you responsible or am I responsible? The madness of Duanmu Yen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the barrage. With the help of Fu Xian, one can use the analogy of abundant and evil things. The people on the immortal boat immediately empathized. For humans, Oxer is a bountiful creature, so kill it. That's right, this wave I'm standing at Qin En. That girl is so strange, why should she empathize with Oxer? Didn't you hear what Qin En said in her past life? She used to be Oxley too. Since you have been an Oxier, you should know that Oxier is bad, right? Surprisingly, he said Qin En is not as good as Oxer. From the current perspective, Qin En's past life seems to have been similar to the existence of the Cloud Cavalry Army, specializing in dealing with the attack on Oxer, seeing Qin En's comments starting to support him on the barrage. Qin Ke said to Fu Xian, Master Fu Xian, you still have the ability. Perhaps this is what we call 100 responses. Fu Xian's face was plain, and his heart was filled with joy. After all, this kind of responsive feeling is really good. It's nothing, this seat is just explaining a fact. A reasonable judgment based solely on the existing information. And Qin En's past life doesn't seem like a bad person either. Qin Ke. Master Fushuan, I remember you said it before, didn't you? Judging people by their appearance is not right. Fu Xian glanced at Qin Ke and pinched her tightly, saying, Qin Ke, have you been working too little lately? At once, he poked the blue sparrow's lifeline. No, no, no. Lord Fushuan is right in everything he says. Fu Xian shook his long sleeve and said, continuing to watch, I think there should be a plot of Duanmu Yen hitting Oxer next. Don't forget that there was also a Axel Killer on the previous entry. Qin Ke said thoughtfully, if we really follow what Lord Fu Xian said and analogize it. Qin En is the abundant evil killing machine. Fu Xian could only shake his head helplessly and said, that kid has good talents in all aspects, I won't misread him. I once wanted to recommend him to join the Cloud Cavalry Army. Even asking the general to personally guide, but they were all rejected by this kid one by one. If he is willing, perhaps now he can really become what you call a bountiful killing machine. Fu Xian's eyes were filled with regret. Qin Ke, on the other hand, fully understands Qin En's ideas. He was already a wealthy young master. Great family and great business. That must be to enjoy life and fish well. Qin En's current state of life is just his dream. Go on, wait for me to retire. In the future, open a card club and besides playing cards, just follow Qin En. Qin Ke secretly swore. In the light screen image. After saying the classic, one Joseph, one Joseph, one Joseph. There was a small transition in the video. Duanmu Yen and a few others appeared in a room. Ma Lingling and a few others stood beside Duanmu Yen. In front of Duanmu Yen, a young man in a suit and leather shoes seemed to be arguing with Duanmu Yen about something. The light screen image is also the same as the previous time. Given the person's name subtitle. Ma Qingshan. Duanmu Yen looked at Ma Qingshan with a skeptical expression and said, innocent. Qingshan, I really don't understand what you're thinking. What are you insisting on? Who do you still want to protect? Ma Qingshan angrily criticized, of course you don't understand. Because you never wanted to know about Oxley. Duanmu Yen patted her chest and asked in reverse, why do you want to know about Oxley? I am human. Ma Qingshan. You are human. Oxer is also human. Duanmu Yen sneered and said, ha. Are they people? If they are human, why do they resort to violence towards each other? Ma Qingshan and Duanmu Yen were caught in a fierce dispute. You speak and I speak. The audience couldn't hear what was being said clearly. I only know that the argument is very intense. And every sentence of Duanmu Yen is so resounding. And Ma Qingshan seems more like blaming Duanmu Yen. The last sentence from Duanmu Yen made it clear to all the audience. If anything happens again. Are you responsible or am I responsible? Even if the first two people who don't know why argued like this. But it can also be seen. It must be in dealing with the problem with Oxer. There was a disagreement in their attitudes. Obviously, Duanmu Yen wants to completely solve Oxer. Ma Qingshan believes that Oxer is also a human and should enjoy the same rights as humans. We shouldn't kill them quickly. Kiana. Their argument is so complicated, I can't understand what they're arguing about. Pedophiles. Yes, my head is already big. May. I agree with Duanmu Yan's idea, and from their discussion just now, it is not difficult to hear that Oxer should be a very violent and destructive human. Jingyuan. If it's not my race, their hearts will always be different. This person named Ma Qingshan still hasn't figured it out. Walter. I also think there's no problem with Duanmu Swallow. Gui Naifan. At most, it can be considered a bit crazy, right? Su Shang. How do I feel okay? Kevin. At all costs, we must eliminate those who pose a threat to humanity. I agree with his idea. Fu Hua. Why does it sound a bit like fighting against collapse? Otto. I am becoming increasingly curious about what this person named Duanmu Yen is doing. Yulandair. If Duanmu Yen can ask who is responsible for the consequences, it indicates that he has the ability to be responsible. Just this sentence alone will defeat Ma Qingshan. Rita. Indeed, Ma Qingshan has been blaming Duanmuyan, and Duanmuyan is considering from the perspective of all humanity, Kafka. Qin En, how do I feel like you remember things from your past life when you say this? Silver Wolf. This probability is 0. 6. The achievements of Duanmu War God have been exposed. Seeking the month. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All the viewers watching. Everyone understands one truth very well. That means the bad guys must be punished. The enemy of most people in the starry universe is the anti-material legion. The enemy of the Luofu immortal boat is all the believers of abundance. When the anti-material legion destroyed planets and civilizations, it was merciless at all. When the followers of abundance plunder other planets, they are also trying to satisfy their own selfish desires. Ma Qingshan's behavior is basically equivalent to forgiving the anti-material legion and coexisting harmoniously with it. Standing in front of the patrol star god, tell him that the Fengrao star god is also a star god. There's no need to do so absolutely. In the world of collapse, tell fate and inverse entropy that we must try to coexist harmoniously with collapse. So from this moment on. The audience in front of the light screen. All leaning towards Duanmu Yen, is there a problem with Ma Qingshan? Duanmu Yendu has said that violence in Oxer can harm humans, but he still needs to understand Oxer. This is equivalent to making me understand why the collapsing beast harmed my family. It's all at my doorstep, but I actually welcomed him into my house. I support Duanmu Yen. I said Qin En is so handsome, how could he be a villain? Can't the villain be Ma Qingshan Tai Bu Cnei? Fu Xian finally breathed a sigh of relief. It can basically prove that Duanmu Yen, the former life of Qin En, was not a major villain. On the contrary, it is a steadfast warrior. The green bird could not help roast. Those three people behind are standing like the light bulb. Fu Xian said, that girl is Ma Lingling. In the first scene of the argument, it was she who had an argument with Duanmu Yen. It seems that she once became Oxley. Qin Ke carefully looked at it and said, it's really. So how did you say it? Can Oxer and humans be interchangeable? After pondering for a moment, Fu Xian guessed and said, perhaps it is, or rather, it is more like a human being infected with some kind of power and became Oxer. That's why Ma Qingshan just said the sentence Oxer is also human. Qin Ke. After becoming Oxley, will you be unable to control the use of violence against your former fellow humans? Fu Xian said, "Why does it sound a bit like a stranger to longevity?" The two looked at each other. Then he looked at the light curtain very tacitly. All the answers are in the video of the light screen. Not just Qin and Fushuan. Other viewers. At this moment, I am also curious about creatures like Oxer. Everyone continues to look at the light curtain, waiting for the light curtain to give the answer. In the light screen image. After Duanmu Yan and Ma Qingshan finished arguing, the scene returns to the tavern. The protagonist is still Duanmu Yan. A few people stood beside him. Duanmu Yan said confidently, "How many Auxers have I cleaned up? Do you know?" When the other few people heard Duanmu Yan say this, my eyes seemed to be filled with dissatisfaction. Don't talk about Auxer anymore. I saved the entire city of Nanhua alone back then. One of them countered impatiently, "You saved everything you got. You saved the entire city of Nanhua, you are a great hero." Then the screen turns again. Arrived inside the police station. Duanmu Yan looked at the person in front of him with questioning and said, "If the police have the ability." Back then, it was a mere Tian How group. How did you make the entire city of Nanhua so polluted? At this moment, Duanmu Yan gave the audience a new feeling. That's crazy. But there is crazy capital. They saved a city. Pack up all the Auxer. That is the hero of humanity. But the result was such treatment. Firstly, there are doubts from Ma Lingling and Ma Qingshan. Are you still being subjected to the strange energy of an unknown person? Pedophiles. What's going on with these people? Duanmu Yan saved a city, is that their attitude towards heroes? May. Perhaps this is the special feature that most humans share. Mabius. When disasters disappear, heroes with the ability to face them are a kind of disaster, it's really a reality. Kiana. This is not fair at all, they are so despicable. Su Shang. Good guy, Qin En has suffered a lot of injustice. Qin En. I think it's okay, after all, different paths do not conspire with each other. Boy, if I save a city, I'm even crazier than Duanmu Yan. The police are not doing anything, no wonder Duanmu Yan is so tired. How dare this group of people face up when one person solves Auxer, which is equivalent to one person destroying an anti-material army. Duanmu Yan's temper is still too good. I could slap him with that tone just now. On the screen of light, everyone is indignant for Duanmu Yan. And Qin En, the party involved, recalled the incident at that time. Just a slight smile. Crazy. When I was even crazier, you hadn't seen me before. In the Xianzhou tavern. Gui Naifan kicked angrily and said, "Qin En, I feel like you're at a disadvantage. It's clearly you who saved a city." Result. What was the tone of that person's tone? "I'm so angry. I'm so angry." Su Shang said, "Fortunately, Qin En doesn't remember what happened back then. Otherwise, it would be so unfair." The surroundings of the small tavern were also filled with angry cheers for Qin En. Qin En raised his teacup and gestured to the person speaking for him. Then he said to Gui Naifan and Su Shang, "All right, it's all from a past life." The words have just finished. A new subtitle pops up in the light screen. General Duanmu's 3.1.0.9 Achievements Collection. 7. The Axel Slaughter Machine, a drama that killed €31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So that's what it means. 3.1.0.9 represents the achievements of Duanmu Yan. Kill 31 Oxys and assist in killing 9 Oxys. I think 0 represents not death, but no failures. Silver Wolf looks at the subtitle appearing in the light screen. As a heavy gaming enthusiast, I immediately analyzed what it means. That is to say, Duanmu Yan fought against Oxer during the process. Not only did it comprehensively clean up Oxer, even achieved invincible. Kafka's eyes were a bit surprised. It seems that Qin En's past life was really interesting. It's not just a past life, even this life is the same. Kafka seems to have some understanding of Qin En's appearance. Silver Wolf. After all, he is the only person in Ario's script who cannot predict his actions. Very peculiar. Kafka. Yes, all our plans for the future. He is the only one who needs attention. I thought he was quite special now. I didn't expect that even in my past life. Silver Wolf pondered and said, perhaps it's because of someone who is already very powerful, even if they start a new life. There won't be any significant changes either. Kafka smiled slightly and said, perhaps there is such a possibility. But what I'm even more curious about now is, how did he actually fight? The Duanmu swallow, which maintains its ordinary appearance, cannot feel any highly specific energy fluctuations on its body. Silver Wolf, like Kafka, said, yes, it's not much different from ordinary people. Next is the Battle of Duanmu Yen. Many of those entries are related to the Battle of Duanmu Yen. And you can also see what those so-called oxys are. The audience on the barrage. At this moment, there is also a lot of anticipation. Kiana. Finally let go of the battle, Blonia. Let Blonia see how this record was achieved. Jingyuan. What an amazing record. Kevin. So, does that mean there are only 40 of them in total? Yanqing. It doesn't sound like the harm is particularly significant. Pedophiles. Yes, it seems that the number of enemies is not very high either. May. If we follow the previous statement, 40 people are already equivalent to a super criminal gang. Wei. And this criminal gang was all eradicated by Duanmu Yen alone. Fu Xian. And it looks like Duanmu Yen is no different from ordinary people. Qin En. Master Fu Xian, it's a bit hurtful for you to say that. Fu Xian. This seat is just telling the truth. Teresa. It's amazing for an ordinary person to have such a record. Su Shang. Don't forget that our Qin En is an oxer-killing machine. Amidst the anticipation of countless people, the subtitles on the light screen that indicate a new video are slowly disappearing. Duanmu Yen appeared again in the light curtain, and this time across from him was still Ma Qingshan. Ma Qingshan still made the same comments as before. But at the same time, it also exploded even more. Duanmu Yen first spoke to Ma Qingshan, if you do anything unjust, you will die on your own. Ma Qingshan confidently retorted, lift up the sword of justice. Thinking about one's own desires, to put it bluntly, it's just revenge for one's father. But it's hypocritical to say it's about eliminating harm for the people. Good guy. Good guy. Emotional Oxer Duanmu Yen's father slaying enemy. What kind of mentality did Ma Qingshan stand on the opposite side of Duanmu Yen and say such things? Is it wrong to seek revenge for my father? Isn't it right to eliminate harm for the people? Has it become hypocritical with you? Who exactly is this hypocritical? You still have the face to let Duanmu Yen and his father's murderer coexist peacefully. Originally, there was one or two pacifists speaking for Ma Qingshan on the barrage. Now my face is slapping. Boy, I'm just a good guy. It's just a revenge for killing my father, right? So is Ma Qingshan going to fight Duanmu Yen next? General Duanmu, kill him, this is like the collapse beast destroying my family. Let me understand the collapse beast. If I kill the collapse beast, do you still say I did something wrong? That's just a pitiful collapsing beast, dog head. The only revenge for killing your father is not your reason to deal with ox, dog head. In the light screen image. Faced with remarks like Ma Qingshan that distort right and wrong, Duanmu Yen sneered, and at some point, something fiery red like a key appeared in her hand. A small box of the same color appears at the waist where the key can be inserted. Ha! I'm too lazy to reason with you, you don't deserve to listen. This retaliation. It's really amazing. That's it, is it useful to discuss this big truth with such a person with incorrect values? Flame of Nava. Combining. Insert the key in your hand directly into the box on your belt. In an instant, the fierce flames engulfed Duanmu Yen. When the flames dissipated, a set of flame-colored armor covered Duanmu Yan's entire body. Immediately after, Qin En across from him also took out a similar blue key. A belt has also appeared at the waist position. Xiaoji Nano. Combining. The surging force of the waves swept through Ma Qingshan's entire body. Wait until the huge energy fluctuations dissipate. The deep blue armor was worn on Ma Qingshan's body. The battle between the two instantly unfolds. 8. Lazy, talkative and straightforward Duanmu Zhanshen. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the light screen image. Flame of Nava and Xiaoji of Nano. The battle between two armored warriors unfolds. And this special force. It also broadens the horizons of audiences in the shattered world and the starry universe. I seem to understand why this world is called the world of armored warriors. Is this the world of armored warriors? But why can people like Ma Qingshan use this power like Duanmu Yen? Why does he rely on it? This is obviously the strange key that can transform. So what if you can transform? It's not like you can't defeat General Duanmu. Not only can't it be defeated, it's just a crushing game Kiana. So handsome, this transformation would be even more handsome if our Valkyrie armor could do the same, Otto. Great idea, I will try to develop in this direction. Kevin. After completing the transformation, does Duanmu Yen seem to have mastered the power of flames? Su Shang. Qin En Shang, beat up this hypocrite, I'm so angry. Gui Naifan. Qin En, you're so strong. You're completely suppressing Ma Qingshan in battle. Jing Yuan. Whether it's body techniques or the use of one's own strength, Duanmu Yen is on top of Ma Qingshan. Yanqing. Yes, Ma Qingshan is no match at all. Fu Xian. Although he had mastered the power of water element to counter fire element, he was actually beaten by Duanmu Yen. Star. This Ma Qingshan feels like a typical case of having a bad taste for food and mouth. Okay. Hit him, hit him. Good Duanmu swallow. Gui Naifan watched as Duanmu Yen suppressed Ma Qingshan's output. The whole person is getting excited. Don't be too relieved. What nonsense did Ma Qingshan say just now? You've been beaten up now. Family members, look. Qin En brutally attacked Ma Qingshan. Armor warrior. This word is good, but only Qin En deserves the title of armor warrior, and Ma Qingshan is not. Suzhang looked at Gui Naifan on the live broadcast and turned to Qin En, saying, Qin En, is that why armored warriors are also Oxer? The use of power on good is called armored warrior. On the contrary, Ma Qingshan and others are like Oxley. After all, Su Shang thought it was a battle between Duanmu Yen and Oxer before. The first game ended in a battle between two armored warriors. So it is only natural for Su Shang to misunderstand. Qin En smiled and replied, perhaps Ma Qingshan possesses both the power of armor and the power of Oxer. Suzhang let out a surprised sigh. Qin En continued, it's just my guess. Just keep reading and you'll know. The cleverly pillow did not think carefully. But continue to watch. In the light screen image. Despite being completely suppressed, Ma Qingshan was finally defeated by Duanmu Yen and his armor was shattered. Ma Qingshan, whose armor had just disintegrated, let out an angry roar. Directly transformed into a monster with a ferocious face. The power attribute on the body has also changed from the initial vastness and surging to violent and terrifying. Ma Qingshan, who transformed into Oxer, was suppressed to death by Duanmu Yen. At this moment, Ma Lingling ran out and stood in front of Duanmu Yen, demanding that Duanmu Yen let go of her brother. Seeing Ma Lingling blocking it, Ma Qingshan, in the state of Oxer, started running. That's called a fast one. I completely lost the courage to shout with Duanmu Yen at the beginning. The first act ended like this. Oxer. This is Oxer. Boy, it turns out that Oxer looks like this. No wonder Ma Qingshan wants General Duanmu to understand Orkner. He is Orkner in terms of emotions. Isn't this just like Ma Lingling? These two people are really two siblings pre-civilization era. Mei's attention was entirely focused on the light screen. Carefully observe the power of this otherworldly force. It is completely different from the collapse energy that we are familiar with. The power used by Duanmu Yen is more like an elemental force driven by will. And Ma Qingshan's transformation into Oxer is a bit like a dying warrior who can be infected by a collapse. Kevin said very seriously, Duanmu Yan's strength is very strong, and even when facing the warhorse Qingshan, she has not used her full strength. Sakura. Kevin, this is the first time I've heard you praise someone like this in battle. Qianjie said, ha ha ha, I want to fight this guy named Duanmu with 2 moves. I have to say, the power of this world is truly magical, said Mebius with a smile. Armored warriors and Oxer. I don't know what kind of surprise Duanmu Yen can bring us next. Armored warrior and Oxer. Of course, it can be shocking. But the Shattered World and the Celestial Universe are also worlds that possess extraordinary powers. So after a brief understanding, I just took it for granted. What they are more curious about now is the record of Duanmu Yen. The second act quickly began. Duanmu Yen said to another person, armor is just a tool. The key is to see who uses it. In the next moment, Duanmu Yen will continue to use the flame Nava combination. Then the audience saw the battle between Duanmu Yen and one Oxer after another. At the beginning, in human form, Axel was always in front of the Duanmu swallow with his mouth high. After transforming, it was a torture. There is even a more outrageous scene, where a human was kicked out of the transformation state by Nava just as he was about to transform into Oxer. Interrupt the transformation. Later on, another person told Duanmu that his shape-shifting device could also use another key representing hurricane power. There are so many ways to transform into a pack of hurricanes. After harvesting dual forms, Duanmu swallow. 1 hit, 1 hang, 1 hit, 2 crushing, 1 hit, 3 not empty, 1 hit, 4 can win, 1 hit, 5 advantages in me. All the Oxys encountered the Duanmu swallow. Either get cleaned up or try to escape by any means possible. An absolutely overwhelming visual feast is presented before the audience. Meanwhile, in the lines inside, the audience also learned another truth. That is, Oxley is a virus. Usually, it only infects people with malicious thoughts and turns them into Oxley. After the elimination of the Oxavirus, humans will return to normal. General Duanmu. 1 to 5, my advantage lies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this General Duanmu? He doesn't even carry any illusions, boy, who said General Duanmu was crazy just now. That's right, I have this strength and I'm even crazier than General Duanmu. No. So, Ox is a virus, and they actually want General Duanmu to understand Ox. Is his brain broken? Duanmu Yen is so handsome. His combat power is so strong. If we were to destroy the world, there would also be a hero who could deal with it this way. I'll let him go, I understand. It was a virus that turned humanity into an Oxley who only knew how to kill and do evil. Under normal circumstances, kind-hearted humans are not infected. Only criminals with criminal tendencies or already on the path of crime are most likely to be infected. Teresa roughly understood how Oxley was formed. Jeezy. And as long as it is Orksur who has been eliminated by the power of armored warriors, humans will return to normal. It's just that we will lose the memories of our time as Oxley. What were Ma Qingshan and Ma Lingling shouting at Duanmu Yen just now? So in the end, the only ones that Duanmu Swallow has been eliminating are those Oxys. It's just Oxer. The virus that can infect humans and cause them to become insane. This approach has no problem at all. As a result, Ma Qingshan and Ma Lingling actually accused Duanmu Yen of not being as good as Ukis. What is this called? Even asked Duanmu Yen to understand Oxer. That's a virus that can infect humans. Do you two need to be more sober? Teresa said with some disdain. Ma Qingshan and Ma Lingling have really healed their scars and forgotten the pain. Duanmu Yanming is a hero who saves the direct. As a result, in their mouths, they became people who couldn't understand Oxley. GZ. Alas, it would be great if our world also had Duanmu Yen. One person can handle all the collapses. We don't have to work so hard anymore. Teresa also felt the same way in her heart. Tianming headquarters. Yulan Dyer watched the Battle of Duanmuyan and recalled the evaluation of Duanmuyan by those people from Ma Qingshan before. Duanmu Yen is indeed crazy. But madness also has madness capital. One person almost solved all the problems with Oxer. As a result, everyone around me was empathizing with Oxer. Who can bear this change? Yulandale. These people are a bit unworthy of being saved by Duanmu Yen. Otto. Oh, normal. Humans are like this when disasters don't exist. Heroes don't seem important anymore. Otto seemed to recall a painful past. Moving on to the topic, he said, but whether or not to say it, Duanmu Yen is truly incredibly powerful. Where those Oxers are, there is almost no chance to look up. Rita. Yes, and the number of people doesn't have any advantage at all. Yolandale. The switching between the two sets of armor is also exceptionally smooth and accurate. If this ability can become a knight in our destiny. Otto smiled and said, perhaps it's the strongest in history again. In the light screen image. With the efforts of Duanmu Yen, those Ukis died and fled. The scene of entry names constantly appears. Then the light curtain darkened again. The evaluation of General Duanmu by the villains. Is there any evaluation of General Duanmu from the anti-party? Just now, those oaks were scared to death when they saw General Duanmu. Several times, it was a case of using less to deceive more. Ha ha ha, do you want to laugh me to death? Bullying more with less. I also really want to know what kind of evaluation those oaks had of the Duanmu swallow when they were hiding. What else can it be? General Duanmu is their thorn in the side, nothing more than a hindrance. That is to say, the villains in the storyteller's stories all say that righteous people are hypocritical and obstructing things. So Ma Qingshan's comment just now was also an evaluation. Ma Qingshan doesn't count, he is incompetent and furious. Ha 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 in front of the light curtain. Su Shang looked excitedly at Qin En and said, Qin En and Qin En, what kind of evaluation do you think you would have on the villain's side? Qin En smiled faintly and said, what can be the evaluation of the villain? When I was at Duanmu Yen, I directly destroyed them. There's a high probability that it's just some kind of obstruction. Could it be troublesome? Gui Naifan. No. I don't think it's that simple. Qin En looked at Gui Naifan. Why did she suddenly have a little brain? Su Shang asked curiously, Xiao Gizi, isn't it? Gui Naifan said solemnly, all along, what has been able to appear in light screen videos are some famous scenes and so on. It's not easy for everyone to guess. You see, so many people on the barrage are saying these things, so I think it's definitely not such a superficial evaluation. Su Shang looked at Gui Naifan with a look of admiration and said, so, little Gizi, what do you think Oxer's evaluation of Qin En is? Hee hee. Gui Naifan proudly straightened her chest and said, I think it must be a group of Oxer who are live streaming and begging General Duanmu not to kill them. Puff. The tea that Qin En just drank sprayed out coldly. I even coughed a few times directly. Hasty. This guy has a brain. But not much. Gui Naifen looked at Qin En with displeasure and said, Qin En, did I say it wrong? Qin En wiped the corner of his mouth and said, let's take a look. The answers are all on the video, you can watch it yourself. Gui Naifen is still more conscious than Li Da's pillow. When I heard Qin En's expression and this sentence, Gui Naifen approached Qin En and curiously said, Qin En, how do I feel that you are a bit different today? Different. Qin En was taken aback. Gui Naifen continued, how do I feel? It seems like you have memories about your past life. 10. Don't beat Nava yourself, just take me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Opponent's evaluation of Duanmu Yan. I feel a strong sense of oppression caused by Duanmu Yan's transformation into an armored warrior. Even these villains have become somewhat pitiful. Fu Xian looked with great interest at the newly appearing subtitle in the light curtain. Qin Ke was extremely surprised and said, you truly deserve Qin En. Even my past life was so unique. I remember in the previous life exposure, there weren't so many subtitles before, right? Fu Xian nodded and said, after all, a person's life can be long or short. Some people's lives are ordinary. And Duanmu Swallow belongs to another species. He also used the power of armored warriors to kill through the entire Orkney organization. In addition, Duanmu Yan's own personality in strong strength. Nature will create various unique famous scenes. What a wonderful life. As he spoke, Fu Xian's face suddenly changed. My whole body was suddenly filled with disgust. If Qin En had the ambition of being half of Duanmu Yan in his past life. The green bird was very precise and roast, maybe it's because I have been making progress for too long in my last life. That's why my life is so leisurely. Sigh, I really envy Qin En now. This is all the good fortune from the previous life that dealt a blow to Oxer. Fu Xian grew even more disgusted. Idle every day, either playing in the live broadcast room with Gui Naifen or wandering around at Danding Sea. All the places in the entire immortal boat where you can eat, drink, and have fun. There are traces of him, the Grand Prince of Qin. I have such great talent. No way. For a moment, Fu Xian seemed to have made some kind of decision. Qingxue's heart tightened and she said, Master Fu Xuan. What do you want to do? Fu Xian said, after this exposure is over, I will go find Qin En. So powerful and arrogant in my past life. The talent in this world is also good. We can't just waste it like this. Watching Fu Xuanqin swear to Dan Dan, he looked as if he would never stop pulling Qin En into the Cloud Cavalry army. Qin Ke could only pray in her heart, Qin En, you should seek more blessings for yourself. I won't help you persuade Lord Fu Xian anymore. If he pulls me forward together later, then my life will be ruined. Within the general's mansion. Although separated by 2 places. Yanqing still doesn't deal with Fu Xian. But at this point, their thoughts are the same. General, why don't we find an opportunity? Bring Qin En into the Cloud Cavalry army together, right? I feel that within the Cloud Cavalry army, he must be able to shine and heat up like the Duanmu Swallow. His talent, I think you should also see it. Jingyuan could only sigh helplessly and said, I have never worked hard before. Even after Jingyuan discovered Qin En's talent. Everyone was inspired to cultivate him as the next general. Yanqing was taken aback and said, General. Do you mean you have contacted Qin En? Jingyuan nodded and said, yes, I wanted him to join the Cloud Cavalry army at that time. Then he didn't refuse, so he asked me to play chess with him. If he won, he joined the Cloud Cavalry army. In an instant, Yanqing's face changed and he said, so General, you lost. You should know that Qin En's general title is Divine Strategy General. Unmatched strategy. Surprisingly, he lost to Qin En in his best chess skills. Jing Yuan nodded and said, "Yes, I'm willing to accept the gamble. So I didn't invite him to join the Cloud Cavalry Army again." Yanqing. Surprisingly able to defeat the general in chess. Qin En, your past life has already left people amazed. Even in this world, there is such remarkable ability. But willing to bury oneself. Yanqing could only sigh and shake his head about this. After all, in his opinion, this behavior of wasting life is really shameful. Light screen display. With the disappearance of subtitles. The evaluation of Duanmu Yen by those villains has also begun to appear on it. First, in an office. The argument between Xiao Lizi and Ma Qingshan. Xiao Lizi angrily pointed at Ma Qingshan and said, "Young master. Don't beat Nava yourself, just take it out on me." Ma Qingshan retorted, "Can't I fight? Have you ever been able to fight?" Little Lizi was speechless in an instant. You should know that these two people are not weak at all. Unfortunately, the incident encountered by Mu Yen. Then the scene changed again. Xiao Lizi said meaningfully to Ma Qingshan, "Don't you think Nava has become increasingly cruel lately? It is said online that he's the Axel Killer." Speaking, little Lizi also made a motion of wiping his neck. Ma Qingshan dare not speak. In the next scene, little Lizi outside watched the battle between Duanmu Yen and Axel in the form of Tuachuo not far away. I directly took out my phone and dialed Ma Qingshan's phone number. "Hello, young master. Come on, Nava is going crazy." Following that was another scene, where a senior ochre turned to the back of an ochre and said, "This person is psychologically abnormal, so be careful." Then there is another scene. Duanmu, in a state of being heavily burdened, took out the key to Nava and changed her voice to Nava. The opposite ochre came straight up with a sentence. "Another Nava, it's too scary. Let's go." Then Axel immediately slipped away. Even if I stay for an extra moment and fight against Duanmu Yen, I dare not. The key is that at this point, they still have a numerical advantage over Duanmu Yen Ming. Scene by scene. The lines of the title kept appearing on the screen. The audience in front of the light screen was filled with laughter and laughter. "Ha ha ha, young master, Nava has gone crazy. Come on, come on. Ma Qingshan. If you go crazy, still let me go. Do you want to give someone a head? Ha ha ha, who the real villain is." So those entries with antagonistic meanings were all installed by villains for General Duanmu. Difficult to collapse, this is actually an evaluation of the righteous faction by the anti-party. Ha ha ha.